PSA has been in, well, I'm not sure if the Public Service Association was in talks with the government, but apparently these talks are on the table for the past 3 months, and that is with a view to an increase in public servant salaries. However, government has now finally come back with an offer. There has been a stalemate for a long while. They now have come with what is supposed to be, from their side, a final offer of 1.5% salary hike for public servants, plus a cash gratuity of 978 rands for a year in a bid to end the stalemate in the public sector wage negotiations. Now, let's understand who these public servants are and why you are rejecting this offer.
Yes, here we are talking about the provincial and the national sphere of government, and where they are giving nothing, because the 1.5% that they're talking about is already part of the salary dispensation in the public service in the form of a pay progression that annually public servants received it at 1.5%. So we are more worried because in another sphere of government, which is the local government, the negotiations where they're progressing well. They are actually at now a 3% offer. So you can see the contrast of saying one government treating different spheres of government differently. We are getting nothing, municipalities are getting 3%. And that is why, as PSA, we cannot even consider this what they regard as an offer, because it means nothing to the pockets of public servants, because they already have 1.5. The difference is 978 that they are quoting as something that they're going to give as non-pensionable, taxable for a period of 12 months. Then what happens after 12 months? That is the problem.
Okay, you're talking about municipalities coming up with 3%. So who are these two different factions that you're talking about? I also understand that municipalities comprise of 250,000 workers. Are they all covered by the Public Servants Association?
No, they are not covered. I was just giving a contrast of saying, if government is serious, they should treat all employees at the different levels, spheres of government equally. So why would public servants accept 1.5, and which is very, very little, and does not even go to the extent of at least half of the inflation? We're talking about the inflation standing at 3.2%, and we know that the economists have warned that come the 1st of July, most of South Africans must brace themselves for a hike in terms of all commodities, as we know that the 15% of ESCOM adjustment in terms of electricity is coming to an effect 1 July. We know that the petrol price has been hiking on the high steep of 1 rand since the last month. So all those kind of things mean that come July and going forward in this current financial year, most of the public servants are not going to be able to afford the basic commodities.
Right. I'm still not quite clear as to whom you are representing, because you're saying the municipalities, which comprises of 250,000 workers nationally. Who represents them, and who is the PSA representing, and why are you up in arms with this 1.5% salary hike? Why and where is this difference that we're talking about?
Okay, the difference is that municipalities, I think it's SAMU and IMATU. Those are unions in municipalities. In the public service, it's PSA and others, and we represent provincial and national public servants.
Not local municipalities?
No, not local. I was giving an example of saying, why is government giving 3% to municipalities but giving us 1.5 at national and provincial?
Okay, so are you as PSA demanding exactly the same as the local municipalities? Is that the strife that we're talking about here?
No. We are giving a contrast of saying, if they were equal giving the same percentage, there would be something that of consideration. Because our demand is 7%, but we are willing to talk about it. We are willing to compromise. But we can't compromise 7% with 1.5% that we already have.
Okay. Where are you now in talks with government?
We have written to the PSABC. PSABC has confirmed that they will schedule our consultation as PSA. Then we'll go under consultation process so that at the end of the day, we are able to resolve the matter. Failing which, we'll have to end up with a certificate that we can end up with the strike in the public service.
In the meantime, you haven't downed tools.
In the meantime, we are continuing to engage. We are ready at any time to engage. We have not done the tools. We are prepared to listen to the employer if they come to us with respect, with some sort of an increase that can be reasonable, can be actually be taken to members for mandating. Because you can't take what they have for mandating. You are insulting the workers. You can't make them to believe that you're giving them something that they already have.
Okay, now let us talk about the workers that you represent. Which sector of the communities, towns, and cities do they work in? Are these your, your people that are in working in offices? Are they people that are servicing the streets and the roads, etc.? Just give me an idea of who your people are. The PSA.
The PSA represents all workers across the public service. You've got teachers, nurses, police officers, Home Affairs,
right.
SASA, Public Works, all sort of public servants, they belong to PSA.
The unions have threatened, yourself included, obviously, is that if your demands are not met, the country is going to be seeing a mother of all strikes. Are you serious about that? And what is the deadline for the mother of all strikes?
We are very, very determined. We are ready to fight. The last date when we must have resolved this matter is on the 10th of June. And we all know that people are looking at that. We've got 235,000 members out of 1.3 million. But they forget that in terms of law, any other employee of the same employer may join the PSA strike. We know that workers in general, even those who don't belong to PSA, and all those who support PSA are very angry. And they are even encouraging us that we must go ahead. They'll be part of the strike because they are very aggrieved that even some of their unions are not taking them serious. So we are going to make sure that we bring dignity to the workers of this country, especially public servants.
Okay, finally, are you going to be working in collaboration with other unions as well, just to give you more clout?
Look, we are ready to work with anybody who is willing to defend and protect the rights and interests of workers, of public servants. And if any union, especially that are willing to support and make sure that we get a better offer with that has got respect to the public servants, we welcome to join forces, ensure that we get what we want as public servants.
All right. So all of this, hopefully common sense prevails and government does come to the party and your needs are met. What is a reasonable percentage that you'll settle for? You started at 7%. What is a reasonable percentage that you will settle for? Because what I'm thinking as you speak is if you go ahead with this mother of all strikes, it means that the country is going to literally come to a standstill. And that standstill, that standoff could last for days or weeks on end. And, in the midst of COVID-19, we've been in lockdown for an entire year. Lots of small businesses and even large businesses are just beginning to start re-emerging. They're trying their hardest to start, being profitable again, trying to make some money, trying to revive the economy. I'm wondering what will a mother of all strikes do to the economy of the country?
Also, not forgetting that at the same time, the same people that we are fighting that they must get salary increase are the ones that have faced that enemy that was unknown, which is called COVID. They have lost their lives. We've got offense in the public service that people, in fact, especially in the public service, doctors, nurses, cleaners in the hospital, they have faced the COVID-19 since the beginning of it in March 2020. So today, they should also be respected. They should also be given opportunity to receive what they deserve in terms of salary increase. And unfortunately, if that does not happen, it's time that they also go back and home and relax and possibly join the mass action that will be taking place, going to the union building, so that they can also at least be seen as they've done something for this country. But without getting anything else, unfortunately, we are going to have the standstill of the country.
Well said, Ruben. And all I, hope and pray is that government does come to the table. But also, if all else fails and the strike and the marches do happen, the month of all strikes, please, as leadership, you guys need to ensure that the strikes are peaceful, that there's no damage to infrastructure, there's no looting, there's no criminality. That then lies squarely on leadership's shoulders. So that's something you guys need to work on.
100%. I think you are absolutely correct. And if I can maybe inform you that the history of PSA, we have never found wanting. Our strikes have always been peaceful. I can remind you that in 2010, we went on strike as the only union in the public service throughout the country. The public service was, was halted. There was no one, functioning in the public service. But we have managed to ensure that there was not a single incident in any of the province that the strike was ongoing. And even later on, the police also, thanked the PSA in the manner in which to conducted the strike action. That is how our reputation is. We will ensure, but however, if there's any kind of intruders, we'll also work with the police to ensure that the strike is peaceful.
Right. We leave it there and we will be watching the space very, very closely. Ruben Maleka, the Public Service Association spokesman, talking about the stalled talks with government as far as PSA workers are concerned. They represent 250,000 workers throughout the country. Time for an ad break. When we get back, we will be continuing talking to a whole host of people about issues playing out not only in the country, but obviously all around the world. We'd love to hear your comments on the planned strikes. Kindly WhatsApp us on 061 766 0355 or anything else that's on your mind. We'd love to hear from you. My Lord, show me right from wrong.
Huda SA is an organization that focuses primarily on assisting communities within the eThekwini region by collaborating with existing Islamic centers, mosques and madrasas. Your contribution goes towards the uplifting of orphans and vulnerable children, including vulnerable families, by assisting with education, welfare, nutrition and maintenance of madrasas, mosques and Islamic community centers. Make the difference. Donate to our noble cause.